The new Kid Cudi album just released today, December the 11th. I'm excited. I'm the guy who always listened to Kid Cudi's music. See, I actually went back and listened to some of his previous Man on the Moon projects and I loved it. I loved his singles like Day and Night. I mean, I basically grew up on it. I love his features, especially the Travis Scott collab. Whew, actually broke a sweat there. But I also didn't mind Kids See Ghosts. I actually thought it was like one of the best produced projects that Kanye West released in 2018. And the others were Daytona, Ye, Nasir, and KTSE, which I thought was the best. But this album here is a end of an era for Kid Cudi. This is the final installment of the Man on the Moon trilogy, and the back of the album, along with a trailer that's posted on his YouTube, pretty much confirmed it. Now there are 4 acts, so I'm going to divide this video up into 4 videos. So make sure you tune in to the following videos. Now if you're new to my channel, I do music reviews that not only consist of me breaking down the artist, but also breaking down each individual song on the album. So if you're a music fan, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hey, we over 600 subscribers. Is it possible to get to 1,000? I don't know, but help me get there. Let's try to get this video up to about 50 new subscribers and 50 likes. Hey Stevie, go ahead and roll that intro. Okay, so I can't actually get into this album until we talk about everything to know about Man on the Moon 3. So this project is arriving 10 years after he released his second edition, Man on the Moon 2, The Legend of Mr. Roger, in 2010. And the first album, Man on the Moon, The End of Day, dropped September the 15th, 2009. 10 years, so obviously Cudi was not in a rush. I mean, 10 years, come on now. But he wasn't in a rush to make the third part, and it really wasn't promised. In 2016, Cudi expressed doubt in continuing that series because he was just at a different point in his life. He mentioned things like he didn't want to follow the same template, and after a poor response of his 5th studio album, Beating Bullet to Heaven, it pretty much haunted him. He didn't think that this project would live up to expectations. And he also didn't want this album to feel forced. I mean, dealing with all of the stories that you hear about labels and stuff like that, I understand why he would want to push this back and not really be in a rush. I don't think it's a bad idea. Now, himself along with Travis Scott, Dot, his girl, Rocky, Dennis, his engineer Bill, and sister all serve as a huge source of inspiration for this project. I mean, without that encouragement, it probably wouldn't have been a part 3 to Man on the Moon. Or at least not this soon. I mean, it's not like 10 years is soon. But to continue on, Mr. Roger, his alter ego, is coming back with this album. And this character pretty much embodies a battle of good and bad between instinct and impulse, in which he was still coming to terms with. Now, Man on the Moon 2 went into this internal battle, and the conflict seems to continue in this part, while also reaching a new high. Now, as you can imagine, going through 10 years of inner turmoil, he found hope and overcame the darkness that was ultimately plaguing his life. But happiness is not forever. His peace eventually transferred into a nightmare, but it ultimately concluded and came back together, saying things like he had to face himself again and again and be willing to fight to win back his soul from the evil Mr. Roger. Now, since there was a narration by Common on the first project, The End of Day, fans are hoping that there will be another narration. I mean, people are hoping for Morgan Freeman, but you know, hey, you never know. And being that Morgan Freeman actually was on the 21 Savage and Metro Boomin's project narrating, it could possibly be a thing. I mean, to be honest, it'd be awesome. But hopefully it's not Chris Rock. I mean, what Chris Rock did on the Busta Rhymes project was not it. I mean, it just wasn't it. Now, on this album, there are the original producers in the past projects like Dr. Genius, Mike Dean, Plain Pat, and Emily Hayden. And the executive producers are listed as Cudi and Dr. Genius. Now, if you're curious about the album cover, it was painted by Sam Spratt, who also made covers for Logic as well as 070 Shake. It's striking and it falls in the line of Cudi's brand. It's spacey and abstract, and I also love how half of his face is melting away into the galaxy. Now, I can't go on without mentioning the killer features that's on this project. I mean, you have Pop Smoke, Trippie Redd, Skepta, and Phoebe Bridgers. And last, before I get into Act 1, I have to say that this will not be his last album. There will be a future album called Intergalactic, which he is currently working on, and that will be a part of his upcoming Netflix series where he is the executive producer. Now he's also starring in it, and it will be an animated series. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, now let's actually dig into the tracks on Act 1. Now I am a producer, so I'm gonna deeply study the production, but I'm also gonna analyze the song from a overall perspective in the following categories: songwriting, vocalism, production, and overall feel. Now my goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers hopefully by the end of the year. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and like this video. Oh, I will wait. Oh, you still haven't? Oh, there we go. Thank you. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so Act 1 is the Return to Madness, and it has 5 different tracks. It has Beatiful Trip, Tequila Shots, Another Day, She Knows This, and Dive. So Beatiful Trip is a short instrumentation intro with beautiful sounds, and it actually uses the same sounds from the opening of the first album of the series. It honestly prepares the listeners and myself for a emotional moon landing. An amazing way to start off the album. Is only about 50 seconds long, and the beautiful thing about it is it's a perfect transition from this track on to the next track, Tequila Shots. In Tequila Shots, first off, an amazing production. And there's awesome vocalism from Kid Cudi. Now on this track, Cudi actually embarked the start of the trilogy by reflecting on his past struggles and ongoing internal wars, but also excitement for the future. He talks about the storm stirring up within him, but can't back down from the fight, despite his fears of losing and ultimately crashing. Now for the real Man on the Moon fans, he actually referenced Common's narration, and that was a reference to the first Man on the Moon project. But the production itself features a high-pitching synth pressing over a powerful bass and melodic hook which reminisces of a old 2009 Kid Cudi. Not gonna lie, the producers did their thing on it. Dr. Genius as well as Take a Day Trip were co-producers on this track. Now, Another Day continues with the party scene that is depicted in the previous song, Tequila Shots. Now, in this track, he's actually rapping about the adventures he has as Mr. Rager. But towards the end, he actually awakens from a long night of partying with a desire to make a change for his life. At the end of the song, he actually hinted that he's gonna take his life into a different direction, being tired of the rage. But I ultimately love the production on this track. Heavy synth sounds, and there's a lot of Kanye sounding drums on this track, though just not as powerful. But being that it's not as powerful with the drums, it gives a lot of space for Kid Cudi's voice. Now She Knows This actually revisits Kid Cudi's theme of trippy, occasionally superfluous sexual parties. I also love the production on this track. There's heavy 808s and it gives a nice trap vibe. And it's honestly one of my favorite tracks on the album so far. Now, one thing I do love about Kid Cudi himself is that he just sounds like himself. He's definitely an artist that ultimately develops his own sound. I mean, when I think of Kid Cudi, I could put him in the same categories of like a Frank Ocean or a Kendrick Lamar. 3 unique people that just has their own sounds, and you know who they are as soon as you listen to them. And I just think that the production alongside with the harmonies and his voice is just amazing. It feels as though when you're listening to it, it takes you through a journey. Now, Dive is the final song on Act 1, and it continues the theme of alcohol and partying with the growing feeling of unease. Now, Dr. Genius along with Anthony Kiefhofer, Aaron Bow, and Teddy Walton are the producers on this track. An amazing track, and it really makes me feel as though I am taking a journey to space, or really a different universe. Overall, another solid track. So far with these 5 tracks, it is amazing to experience. It makes me excited to continue listening to the album. Now the album already is kind of long, but it tells a story, and I love understanding and studying the story, which I think you as a listener will have that same effect. So far I'm enjoying it. So far out of all of these tracks, my favorite one hands down is probably She Knows This. It gives that same effect of spacious feels, but also that nice effect of trap, 808 hip hop, which I love the most as well. So I'm looking forward to listening to the rest of this album. Yo, thank y'all for watching this video. Thank y'all for viewing Act 1. Now I will be reviewing every single act on this album, so go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like this video, and go ahead and check out my next video, Act 2, to see what I thought about those 4 tracks. And then at the end of the 4 videos, I will give a final review of the album, so you do not want to miss a single video. Also, I do want to mention, I do put in a lot of work and effort in these videos. I mean, sometimes these videos takes about an hour to edit. I mean, sometimes it takes about 2 to 3, and that don't include the research that I do on top of it. So if you will, just go ahead and support the channel Go ahead and, you know, share the video, comment what you think about these songs, but also help me get to 1,000. Hey, that would be a huge gift. I would love y'all forever. I still do, because y'all, I mean, y'all subscribe and y'all watching right now. I appreciate y'all. Bye, your only limitations are those in your own mind. Remember that, and StevieTV out.
Mr. Steve, y'all.